All right, so I'm starting another one, and marking this one. No hat. That's how I'll do it. And I'm not going to say a lot about why I want to do this book. Um, as far as I know at this moment, it's not going out anywhere. It will go to one person, and from where that goes, I don't have a clue, and I don't worry about that shit. I love reading these books. And I'll continue to read these books probably till I die. I can't see me getting fucking bored of my format, and hopefully they just keep getting better. Um, I have no idea where it will lead, and I think that's part of the fun for me. Um, yeah, I ramble. That's what I do, and I try to. I'm trying to cut that back. Um, but I wanted to start a book today, and I've been kicking it around for a long time, and I've had it for a long time, and I haven't read it, and because I honestly can't read books unless I'm doing it this way. I don't know why. Okay, I can read them; they don't hit the same for me, and it seems pointless. It doesn't seem fun. If it's not fun for me, I don't want to do it. And this is fun. I don't know why. I think it's the sharing aspect. I also maybe I like editing a little bit and playing with it and stuff and shit like that. But whatever. If I want to fucking talk for a second, I will. And so yeah, I'm nervous about this book because I think this is one of the first authors that isn't dead, and he's out there and he's alive and it's his. And I don't want to fucking take away from that in any fucking way because, yeah, he's just means a lot. But, well, this copy in particular, yesterday, I've been in the woods for a few days. Um, and this book has been out there in those woods with me, because I was going to start it out there. And I'm going to tell a little story because I like it. I like telling stories. Um, in this cabin that I'm building, I've got a wolf spider. Okay, he sits in the top right corner of the cabin, like in between the loft and the where the computer's at, where my little station's at. And he's been there for 4 months. Named him Frankie. Could be Frenietta or whatever, but Frankie is who that is. And he's been living there. His fucking web is big and it's pretty cool. And he's like accepted me. He'll come out and he'll check on me and shit, kind of like a Charlotte's Web type deal. Well, I've been chilling, and checked on him as usual. And when I got there, and since I've been kicking this book around, I knew I couldn't start it like last week because it was there. So I've been waiting to get out there, and I got in there and I grabbed the book. All right, this is I'm kind of fucked up anyways, so this makes complete sense. But I pick up the book, and the book has been sitting underneath like 6 feet below it. I didn't realize it. And when I picked it up, I want to show you. It's probably just spider shit guts, but it's still really badass to me. I don't know if that's going to get picked up. This is Jason Bashir's The Lost Scriptures of Giza. And if you notice on the top, is around here, dude. That's like artwork from that fucking not the picture, but he added to the picture his own little artwork to the top of this book. And it's of course got to be in these weird drops that God only knows what they could mean. Maybe he's saying hello, maybe he's saying fuck off, maybe he's saying nothing. I don't fucking care. I was like, I got to leave it cuz he christened it for me in a weird way. So yeah, this book not only is special because the author is still alive, he's a great man, but that my spider Frankie decided to take a dump on it too and christen it for me. And I was like, fuck, dude. Well, I've got to read it. Got to read it. It's inevitable, number one. It's coming, but now it's just important. So yeah, hold on. Let me so I'm starting the I'm gonna do it again. This is the Lost. I can't see if this shit's coming through. The Lost Scriptures of Giza by Jason M. Bashirs of Archaics. And this is different, like I said, because I'm not wearing a hat. It's the only book ever done naked faced to the fucking shitty light I've got right here. But it's cool because I like to mix it up a little bit, anyways. So, yeah. So, I want to do this. Okay, so I'm over here. First days are always tough for me because it's like, where do I go? What do I do here? All right. So, yeah. I'm nervous. Everyone always knows that I'm nervous. I don't have to tell anyone. This will be taking on the new format that I've been doing where I'm running through. I'll probably mix with the images in here and try to get them to go with the readings better. It's not easy for me. I'm working on it, you know? So if anyone does see this, you're just going to have to fucking bear with me. It's just the way it goes. Okay? So I'm going to hit this over. This will probably change up a little bit. I just want to let you know. I'm going to start the beginning of this book. And I've been wanting to do it for a while, man. I've been really kicking myself. The Lost Scriptures of Giza, Enoch, and the Origin of the World's Oldest Texts by Jason M. Bashirs. Book Tree, San Diego, California, 2006. This is second edition, 2017, apparently. I'll do the. I guess I can do the forward. Yeah, I'll do the forward. This work was originally published in 2006. The second edition has become necessary because research on these fascinating topics did not cease with the release of this book. The study of Enoch and the monuments he left to posterity has been continued in this author's other works. When the Sun Darkens was published in 2009, the work reveals that Enoch was a chronologist and prophet who was aware of the orbital secrets of a fragmented planetary body and visits the inner solar system every 138 years, anciently known as the Phoenix. This amazing orbital history is laid out for all to see, and the research reveals the true chronology of Earth's past and future, the dating of the apocalypse, the Sixth Seal disaster in 2040 AD, and the return of the chief cornerstone, also known as a prophetic countdown encoded within the Great Pyramid's exterior architectural features. The third book released was Anunnaki Homeworld in late 2011. In this heavily researched work, Enoch's ministry of prophetic engineering is laid out for all to see. As architect of Newgrange and Stonehenge, we find these monuments decoded into a linear timeline by a simple three-dimensional analysis. The Anunnaki planet Nibiru, popularized by Zecharia Sitchin, is shown to be returning to the inner system. It will arrive and pass close by the Earth in 2046 AD, pushing our planet into a tighter orbit around the Sun, which will end every terrestrial calendrical system, an event described in the Seven Trumpets of Revelation. Released a year before 2012, Anunnaki Homeworld demonstrates that the cherished dating of the 2012 AD for the end of the Mayan long count calendar is fundamentally wrong. The error is revealed, and through charts and irrefutable evidence, it is shown that the 13th Mayan Bakhtin actually ends with the collapse of time in 2046. Soon to be published is The Descent of the Seven Kings, a book having more about Enoch and the pre-flood world he lived in than the first three books combined. This tome is packed with chronological data that shows the history of the world through the window of 600-year epochs. In studying the two approaching global cataclysms of 2040 and 2046 AD, the book reveals a tremendous amount of information on the two ancient planetary destructions in 4309 BC and 2239 BC, the end of the pre-Adamic and pre-flood worlds. Further revealed in this book are the extensive zodiac codes, which are prophetic messages concealed within the concepts of star patterns of the 12 constellations. The theme of Descent of the Seven Kings concerns how the future future is the continuation and unfolding of events that have already occurred, is distant antiquity. The seven kings of the old world brought the pre-flood apocalypse and ruination of the world, just as they will again in the near future. They are destined to return to Earth in 2052 AD. Just as they ruled the world in the old Sumerian histories, they will rule it once more, for the seven kings are the major theme of the book of Revelation. Though these are the works in print, this series is by no means complete. 3 more books are being prepared for publication. Chronicon, Timelines of the Ancient Future, is a vast chronology of world history from 5239 BC to 2106 AD in the future. The timeline synchronizes over 40 ancient and more contemporary calendars and timekeeping systems into one comprehensive chronology of date indexes. This monumental research reveals the incredible patterns and geometrical relationships of events past and present. Nostradamus and the Planets of Apocalypse proves beyond any doubt that the French prophet of Jewish ancestry not only accurately knew the future of the last days, he dated the events. The prophet Nostradamus knew of the existence of planet Phoenix, its return in 2040 AD, the return of Nibiru in 2046 AD, the Great War of Islam and the West from 2016 to 2022 AD, and many other events of the last days. The science of calendrical isometrics is explained with over 100 examples provided from the annals of history. The author considers his greatest work to be Chronotexture, Lost Science of Prophetic Engineering. This book is filled with precise architectural charts showing how the internal arrangements of the Great Pyramid serve us as an exact rectilinear timeline of world history. Many authors have attempted to show this, but all have failed, and in Chronotexture, it might be texture. It's texture or texture. We will see how and why this came to be. Without an accurate chronology, previous authors were forced to manipulate architectural measurements that were scientifically made, opening themselves to censure and ridicule. Having completed all of these works, it has become necessary to update Lost Scriptures of Giza, supplement it with new additions. That the research is complete is not a claim one can honestly make. When writing about figures, projects, chronologies, and concepts thousands of years old, we are forced to play the textual archaeologist, ever building pictures out of pieces. And it is the inclusion of these new pieces that made this second edition necessary. Author, Jason Bashir. I'll do the prologue too. Mystery of the Pyramid Shape. Prologue. In the mists of distant millennia, hold on, and I'm not restarting it. Let me start off on the right tongue here. In the mists of distant millennia was built a colossal monument covered in millions of tiny writings. The structure was the epicenter of global pilgrimage and architectural legacy of arcane knowledge rooted in a world that no longer exists. This massive corpus of secrets from the archaic past, the present of their world, and the distant future was originally protected by keepers, but they violated their position as guardians of mankind, oppressing humanity until their sovereignty was fractured by an epic cataclysm that entombed the old world. At variance with the Creator, these beings waged a terrible war against him and the rest of creation. These guardians were among the first created. Their intelligence ancient and matched only by the seething hatred they felt for humanity. This animosity towards mankind was pronounced in the court of heaven by the word as blasphemy, for these newly created beings designed to tend and keep his garden were made in his image. The leaders of this angelic insurrection were imprisoned below the earth they were appointed to watch over, and God led mankind to construct a monument directly over the entrance to their prison, one that would not be opened again until the apocalypse. A stone guardian was sculpted out of the earth to keep watch over his holy monument, and the pyramid became, or triangle, became the universal symbol embodying the sacred secrets of the magnificent building. It is the icon of the arcanum of mysteries that the Great Pyramid was designed to protect. Though its origin lies in an obscure past, the Great Pyramid's foundation was laid exactly 666 years before a terrifying catastrophe fragmented the Earth, burying hundreds of millions of people and their cities deep below the surface in a series of meteoric, is it meteoric or meteoric? Meteoric impacts, tremendous earthquakes, volcanic explosions, and resurfacing of entire buried land masses, lakes and seas slipping from their basins, geologic upheavals, and the bathing of the planet in billions of tons of cosmic dust that rained as mud over land and sea. The marine mesosphere was emptied and collapsed to the ground. This dense atmospheric layer of water raining for weeks and plunging the world into a barren waste of oceans and ice caps. The ancients relate that the Great Pyramid was specifically designed to survive this disaster which had been foretold. Though its presence in the old world presaged death and ruin, it contains within it the beginning of the greatest gift from the Creator. It was sealed in the beginning because its purpose is in the end. This monument is a mine of enigmas, an artifact from a dead world, concealing an exact knowledge we can barely penetrate. It was made marvelously to be an enduring shadow of things to come, an arcane theology in stone that typifies eternal truths and images for the earthly comprehension of men. The secrets of 1,000 scriptures are unveiled within its manifold faces, corners, and corridors. A depthless mine of revelation. By intense scrutiny of the mysteries of the Great Pyramid do we approach the arcanum of truth, known simply as the Word of God. Long ago, this arcanum walked among men, teaching hidden wisdom and deep knowledge in the form of parables, for parables are images of truth masked in earthly symbols, and the greatest symbol of him on earth is the Great Pyramid, a parable of rock. Even centuries after the Great Deluge, pilgrims traveled from afar to gaze upon the highly polished white surfaces of the Great Pyramid. The learned from scores of cultures visited Egypt to study the ancient antediluvian writings found upon its base, casing blocks, copying down abbreviated versions of the histories of heaven and earth they deem most important. If you realize that the time that hidden within these fragments of divine truth spread across the world in cosmological text was concealed a body of teaching that would remain buried within the oldest writings in the world. Abraham was one of these pilgrims, a man of immense learning, acquainted with the holy inscriptions of his ancestor Enoch. Almost 4,000 years ago, this patriarch visited Egypt in search of the arcanum to unearth the past that he might glimpse the future. He is venerated by the adherents of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and is the central figure to many amazing legends and traditions. Abraham at Giza discerned the truths of the old world, penetrated myth and lore, saw the invisible, uncovered the hidden, and divulged to men the long buried secrets of his most distant pre flood predecessors. It was he who discovered that the triangle concealed the greatest of all mysteries, a secret for humanity so incredibly wonderful that its existence caused a rift in the creation as forces beyond our senses fiercely contend over our right to enter into this inheritance. In essence, the lost scriptures of Giza were never really lost. They exist today and can be found in any well-funded university, library, found in the oldest writings in the world. Yeah, I'll do that one. Stop there for today. I can't wait to tell the spider I actually started this. This is great. Thanks, Jay.